Another world is possible. Take responsibility for creating the set. This astrological note, I will add a quote to it. Another world is possible. Take responsibility for creating the whole. It is right, not a luxury or a derivative in this way. It is simply the right of being, and finally, live in a state of love and joy. The feet on the ground and head in the sky. This is the opportunity to spend old mentality for the release to be where the separation becomes useless. This period is that we are going now is in charge of the energy of the discontent and rebellion, anger, and many of us feel this frustration of fatigue, exhaustion, and even despair. We are set to face situations, either painful events that require us to question or questioning, sacrifice, but they are the necessary to break our resistance to change and our behavior, our ways of thinking, open our hearts and to access higher definitions of who we are and continue towards our personal growth, our spiritual journey. We question the meaning of life. Our consciousness is changing. The 10th aspect successfully formed by the Sun and the new Moon on October 13th, with Pluto square and Uranus opposition. We have highlighted the rational, diplomatic, and even global pros and conflicts leading to escalation of violence, brutality. Mercury has resumed its direct movement on October 9th at 0 degrees of Libra. Out of his demotion phase on October 24th, a superior conjunction with Sun, Mercury, will occur at 24 degrees of Scorpio, November 17th, and it is the third and the last Mercury of demotion in the air signs of 2015. In 2016, Mercury demotions will be all in earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, etc. Mercury's direct resuming his walk in the exaltation in the sign of Saturn, and Venus in the home. His position is in harmony with these two stars, a semi-sextile or doctile 30 degrees to Venus that made its entrance in Virgo yesterday, October 8th, and a sextile to Saturn will be exact on October 13th. Note also that this conjunction is made by the North lunar nodes. The Black Moon and Mercury will also be in tense aspect of a square to Pluto on October 22nd, in the opposition to Uranus on October 25th. His demotion phase into the sign of Libra has undoubtedly allowed us to question our relations, our trade. Mercury is linked between us and the outside world. It enables us to understand, to analyze, to search information, share ideas, convey and exchange. But we are not in harmony with our higher consciousness, ourself. What we share with each other, the relationship we create cannot be healthy, honest, or caring. This demotion has asked us to regain our integrity, to communicate in a more authentic, claiming us, meeting our needs by daring to express our ideas, our thoughts, while listening to those of others. We manage during this period in time to abandon preconceptions, to abandon old thought patterns, can then be good to expand our understandings in the field, pass through Mercury retrograde, and seek new ways to communicate, more inspired, more creative, and more in harmony with the essential being, and could be this superior conjunction that we're speaking of. Perhaps so, on a personal level, you're faced with clashes, difficulties in relations. Some are even driven to assert, finally, dare to express their value, defend their position, show less hesitation in their decisions, their choices, procrastinate less without fear of being rejected or disliked, or at least overcome that. Taking this emotional awareness, it's a very strong storm. It is important not to leave or be carried away by the wind of aggressiveness, impulsivity, and any send in that direction, causing chaos around us. All of this is not very easy. It is true that the same situations are particularly complex and conscientious, but it's being in the shade of self-control, but also mutual respect, they are more likely to solve. This is the change that we are asked of, reaching exercise of temperaments, make that both of the skills are aligned without being in course of denial of self, which would revive frustrations and resentments. Venus in Virgo in entry on October 8th emerged from his demotion areas and thus plays in mutual reception with Mercury. After forming a tense square, appearing and descending to Saturn here, it opposites Neptune October 17, and then applying to the trine to Pluto that will be exact on October 23rd, before joining up with Jupiter Mars on October 25th to October 3rd in the Earth sign. Very analytical, very critical, logical, and perfectionist. Here in this time, Venus does not appreciate the true values. She doubts and lacks confidence in his or her feelings. I have feelings that could one feel scrutinized by reason and dissects it very carefully and studied in the critical eye. Emotions that this sign feels, lack of spontaneity, it's too suspicious. It can show itself through against very dedicated, always ready to help, be humble, modest, and modest as well. The opposition of Neptune can lead to ideas of idealizing in situations. Not to feel a situation with sufficient discernment. Care should be taken not to be deceiving or manipulative during this time. Do not make yourself go either for a victim at the end, or do not end up in an impossible situation. Enjoy this aspect to showcase your creativity by letting go of the reins to your imagination, but do not embark in the world of illusions. Enjoy the quality of time of Virgo to combine it with lucidity and clairvoyance. This is an aspect that has helped to support others, to serve and reinforce its dedication, its altruism. On October 23rd, Venus will form a trine to Pluto. It will live particularly an emotional passion that approximates the exact conjunction to Jupiter October 3rd. For the third time, exaltation of feelings generated, feelings of generosity becoming amplified, fulfillment, sentimental, feelings of fulfillment of love, material success, and before leaving that sign of Virgo, again, Venus conjoins with Mars for the third time this year on November 3rd. This conjunction for the third year that occurs after Venus' demotion phase, which help to realign our values. We should attract what is more important to you. What do you hope in the depths of your own being? Looking not at an ideal too high, but prefer authenticity. Give the best of yourself by staying in harmony with who and what you are. Mars is currently in a trine to Pluto. It's exact on October 16th, and conjoins with Jupiter October 17th, reinforcing our energy, our determination, our power to share our entrepreneurial spirit and courage, but also maybe our generosity. But be careful not to shake everyone away, to show excess of authority or dogmatism. This energy of a triple conjunction that forms within the sign of Virgo between Venus, Mars, Jupiter on October to early November, the trine to Pluto is staggered by Uranus, can cause us to shake our routine, our daily lives, to change our lifestyles out of our usual surroundings, exceed the limits which reassured us. We can be much more conqueror with energy to dare to undertake, but it will soon realize that it is essential to remain in control of oneself, not to fall prey to impulsiveness, to anger. If our projects or desires encounter opposition, it is indeed important that they may meet an altruistic objective. Everything we undertake must, of course, benefit our own personal and spiritual development, and not a selfish one. Desire to satisfy purely our material enrichment. This enrichment must also serve the community. It is also important without denying the material level, maintaining our roots in reality. Also, to develop more of our spirituality, the human side of our nature that is fraternal. If we work in this sense, then Mars, Venus, and Libra can enter successfully if applied to the square of Pluto and Uranus opposition to these aspects, rather than confront conflicts, losses, or others' discord. Quite the contrary, we could realize that we cannot move forward by working together, focusing in harmony, showing us just that without seeking domination, manipulation, avoiding manifesting aggressiveness, impatience, intolerance, or provocation. Previously entering Libra and Venus sextiling that applies to Mars, to Saturn. The token of sincerity here, stability, seriousness, realism, and efficiency in our business. Note that Jupiter entered into this demotion October 3rd, Jupiter's in 14 degrees of Virgo, and it will retrograde on January 8th to May 9th, 2006. See the article on that, Jupiter entering into the sign of Virgo. Lifting the spirit of humanity. We may have entered a period that calls us in interior work, to realize our potential in manifesting an ideal, to express our aspirations, to let grow the growth of spirituality. Jupiter is asking us to move forward, overcome our fears, to avoid inertia, to realize that we are changing our personal, social, and also requiring new organizations, to find a new balance. We are filled with anger, frustrations, fears. If we do not change from within, then things as a result will repeat in the same patterns indefinitely. To resolve our internal conflicts, our level of consciousness should grow, evolve, or achieve peace, serenity, heal any blockages, suffering, injuries stored for too long. Let us now learn to love ourselves better. If we appreciate our values, to love, compassion towards others, then things might grow. This inner work will open to others, and to others increase our understandings of the feelings of suffering, our own fears, by keeping us in love and humility. We'll manage to help each other, to cooperate and transform our experience, to born into a better world. And so thank you all for watching. This has been an astrological report.